Any celebrity?
Yeah.
Probably Snoop Dogg. I don't know. I just think it'd be funny. Like, I think it'd be cool. Hi, I'm Stewart Nicoll. I'm a XFC flyweight champion. I'm 4-0 currently as a professional. I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt, competed at the Worlds twice, got third purple belt, but now I just do MMA, so that's sort of my focus at the moment. Goals to get the UFC, get that strap. I have two brothers, so like we just always fight at home, so like probably been fighting since I was born. I had an older brother, Trevor. He's like really cool now. You wouldn't think it, but he was like a menace. Growing up, like my family always tell me stories about him. Like he used to beat us up pretty good. So I guess there's always that natural, like, I don't know, like it fitted really well. Like when I discovered it, I had an uncle who boxed. He showed me a video when I was like 13, 14 of an MMA fight. It was Fedor Emelianenko versus Hongman Choi, and just that, yeah, the disparity in size, and that it was just like freakish, like to see it. Like I think Hongman Choi would have had like 40 kilos or something on top of him, and Fedor ended up getting the armbar from bottom, and I was like, oh man, I gotta figure out what that is, and learn that. So that's so that was back when I was 13. And my uncle did a bit of boxing with me, like, because he was passionate about boxing, but he just loves martial arts. I had two uncles that love martial arts, so they had a bit of influence in that as well. Me and my brothers love WWE. Watch out! So we had a trampoline, we'd beat each other up all the time, and yeah. So I started doing judo when I was like 14. Yeah, Fedor being my idol sort of thing at that time, like just seeing him beat much bigger guys. And me being a small guy, like growing up, and still now with flyweight. So yeah, I really gravitated towards grappling. I started doing judo for about a year or so, and then a jiu-jitsu club opened up in Redcliffe, so my local area. And then yeah, started doing jiu-jitsu. So we've been like 15, 16, and so I've been doing jiu-jitsu now for like 11 years, and yeah, I love it. Yeah, becoming XFC champion was a bit crazy. It was only my second fight, so things moved really quickly. My first fight was for ACB, which was a Russian promotion. ACA now is what they refer to. So that was crazy. I was like, oh man, this fighting thing is pretty cool. We stayed at the Marriott Hotel, I got paid really well. And yeah, so that was a good start. And then my second fight was for a belt. So yeah, we sort of kicked it off with a bang. I didn't have any amateur fights. I thought that was inappropriate, being a black belt, like being, you know, like competing at like a world-class level. I just thought it was a bit inappropriate to jump into the amateur. So I went straight to pro. Fought an ACB against a guy who'd had like 14 amateur fights, had the amateur belt at one stage there, and then my second fight was against a guy, you know, maybe you could argue that I didn't deserve a title shot on my second fight, and that's fair enough, but my opponent definitely did. Like, he already had 2 belts in MMA. So yeah, that was Ryan Robertson. He was tough, and I ended up finishing him in the 3rd round and got the belt. So then like that made me feel like, oh yeah, I deserve this, like, because he definitely deserves, well, he already has belts, so that's proof already. So yeah, that was crazy. Like beating him on my second fight was unreal. And then yeah, I've had yeah, my 3rd fight was pretty good. Like first round, I think a minute and something, minute 17. But then my last fight was, yeah, all 5 rounds. So yeah, that was a good experience. And my first 3 finished all 3. My last one, 5 rounds, fractured my orbital, everything else. So yeah, it was a war. But yeah, good experience. Can tick that off the box, and hopefully won't have to do that too many times, you know, just try to get the finish. I'm always looking for the finish, just yeah, sometimes you can't get it. It's hard, like I just like winning. I think it'd be quite satisfying might sound sadistic, but it'd be quite satisfying, like getting a position, I guess, where there is no escape, like a crucifix or you know, all the variations of hammerlocks where they can't really defend themselves, and having the ref step in, sort of thing. Like just that control, you know, like submissions are really cool, like it's like a sniping like sort of thing, like you jump in on something and you finish them that way. But I think that control from like ground and pound, like hammerlocking someone and they can't escape and they can't move and they're pinned, and then just unanswered shots, I think if I got some of those, they would be like my proud, versus a submission, you know, like if I rear naked choke someone, that's cool, but if I had someone defenseless for 20 seconds and then the ref has to save them, yeah, I feel like that would like put a smile on, like I think that would be like a more cherished finish. But yeah, like when I'm in there, I want to get out of there as soon as I can. So if someone's going to give me their neck, I want to take the neck. I'm not going to look for that, you know, the ground and pound. I'm not gonna keep fighting to try to control them. I'm just gonna try to finish them as soon as I can. But I think if I could pick a way to finish someone, I'd have someone who like very good at defending submissions, and then I'm forced to just ground and pound them, and then get it finished that way. The plan is to try to get some more fights. I guess like I've had 4 fights now, so I'm looking for my 5th. I fought earlier this year in March, had a child since, and a few things pop up, a few injuries and that. Like I said, I fractured my orbital in my last fight, so I had to take some time off to recover from that. I've had a few other injuries, niggling injuries, but I'm looking after them. I've never felt better like now than I have in the last like 6 years with those injuries. And yeah, just before I sign on the dotted line again, I want to make sure I'm healthy, strong, and that I can perform at my best. So that's sort of the goal right now, is just to make sure I'm feeling at my best before I go in there again. I want to make sure I put my best performance on. I don't want to go there and be half-assed sort of thing, because just because I'm impatient. I'm 27. I think I've got a good 6-7 years, so there's no crazy rush. I don't need to like fight 4 times a year or whatever. I'm happy just to fight a couple times next year. Everything goes well, I'm 6-0, and then yeah, start looking. The flyweight division is less people in that, so it's easier, I think, to get into the UFC. So it's just skill acquisition, like every day. That's sort of, that goal never changes. Like I'm always training, whether, even when I'm injured, I'm still training. I can't have that level of intensity that is required for a fight. That's why I don't compete as much as I used to. It's just because I can't compete at the level I want, with those niggling injuries. But I can still train. I'm still training all the time. So yeah, I'll have a couple of fights a year, 6-0 next year, hopefully, if everything goes well. If that gets me in, great. If not, the following year, another couple of fights, 8-0. Just keep going until I get it. Yeah, I'm patient. It's a great question. I don't think anything's really changed in terms of those goals. Like those goals are goals I've had since I was a young kid. I would have been 15 when I set my sight on doing that. So they're quite ingrained. Nothing's really changed in that sense. If anything, it's more important that I do them. Like that I set a good example for my son to go after your dreams no matter what. Like people use anything as an excuse, people will have a child and they'll disappear off training and all the rest. Like in the last year, very least 6 months, I've been training more than ever. I'm training like 15 times a week, and he's 6 months old. So ever since he was born, I haven't stepped off. If anything, I've been pushing harder, training more, looking after my injuries, but more time on the mat, working my skills, getting better every day. So no, nothing. If anything, it's just added more fuel to be a good example to my son. Any celebrity? Yeah. Probably Snoop Dogg. I don't know. I just think it'd be funny. Like, I think it'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know. I never thought of that, to be honest. I've never thought of that question. Just because he loves fighting, and like I reckon it'd be fun. Like I reckon he'd have a laugh and like, and I reckon he'd have some skills in that, and I reckon it'd be fun. Like yeah, and I like Snoop Dogg. I think he's hilarious. So yeah, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg it is. Cool. All right, Stewie, that wraps up our interview. Thank you so much for doing this, and hopefully when we get to UFC, I can interview you there too.
Sweet.
Cool, man. Thank you.
No worries.